Hello my YouTube family, just here from New Gaming. I got a video today for you guys. It's just going to be a build video. Some people were asking me for this, and since I've made a video on my Maiden before, previously I've made a separate video, my favorite build. It was called My Favorite Build, Mighty Maiden. It does have quite a large number of views compared to, most of my traditional, just regular videos. But I figured I'd do an update and, didn't mean to attack there. I figured I'd do an update and show you guys the stats and the equipment and whatnot. Alright, so let's just get started here. Let's just go with the stats first. Here we go. Okay, so my character's name is Isis, just a name I like. Dark Green Blade doesn't matter. So level 122. I can't actually, it's been a while since I did that, when I went from 120, which used to be the number for PvP, which is where people would stop. But I don't remember exactly what I had to put 2 points into. But in 122, I started at, what did I start as? Does it show you? I think it does. There you go. I started as a pyromancer. You probably could actually do this in a more efficient way. I made this build before I found out about Mugen Monkey. Alright, so level 122, Pyromancer at 39 Vitality, 12 Attunement, 40 Endurance, 50 Strength, 12 Dex, 12 Resistance, 10 Intelligence, 30 Faith, and 8 Humanity. I believe the 30 Faith I don't think is really necessary anymore. You can use Wrath of the Gods, although I don't have that miracle. I originally got 30 Faith so I could use Grant. That was the original weapon I used with this build, but Grant is a lot harder to use in my opinion. I actually, I really like the attack set. I think, what is this? What is it? Hold on, let me see. Oh my gosh, wasted your guys' time, sorry. This is just a regular Great Hammer, so it's not an Ultra Hammer. So yeah, it's a bit quicker than Grant, and I also like the one-handed R2. The two-handed R2 isn't the worst attack in the game, but it's a little bit too delayed and it's too easy to punish. But the one-handed R2 is actually really, really good. It does a lot of damage. It's doing 624. I'm one-hand wielding it. I switch it whenever I feel I need to in combat. Yeah, so I already went over the stats. That's everything there. Okay, and then I have the heavy crossbow in my right hand. Normally I use heavy bolts. I actually did buy these. I think there's a better, I think there's a better set of bolts, but I only bought what I thought I could use. You could buy any bolts, especially when you have as many souls as me. I have nearly 2 million that I have absolutely nothing to spend on. But I have the heavy crossbow on my right hand. It does 457. I actually don't think it does that much if I take these off. 341 with the regular heavy bolts. It's still a good amount of damage, especially when the right tearstone reactivates. I have the Grass Crest Shield, just my choice. I'm not using this really for stamina regen. When I used Grant, it was a lot more important that I had some stamina regen, but I think it just matches the outfit that I'm going with here. So, the white and light greenish, brownish color in the shield, I think matches my setup. Then we have the Priest hat plus 10. I'm running pretty much the Maiden set except for this. I don't know, I just like the way this looks. It looks different. It looks on purpose. So it gives me, a difference from people who just wear the Maiden set. Because the Maiden set is a pretty good set. It's really light. It has pretty good defense. Overall, my defense is sitting at 269 physical defense. So I have the Priest hat, the Maiden Room plus 10, Maiden Glove plus 10, Maiden Skirt plus 10. All pretty apparent, those arrows. I have Havel's Ring. I could equip quite a bit more. I could equip about 3.8 more pounds of gear, but that's not really necessary. But yeah, Havel's Ring and Red Tearstone Ring. Red Tearstone Ring allows for some awesome turnarounds, especially with the heavy damage of this club. It also allows me to do a lot of damage with the crossbow, especially if I get lucky and get a headshot. I've had the crossbow do, I think, like 600, 700 damage before with a shot with the Red Tearstone Ring. And it has I've been using Rotten Pine Resin. The large club is considered a normal weapon, although it does have a poison, has a poison stat of 180. I'm not really sure what that exactly translates into, except for the fact that I have the possibility to poison someone. But I actually started using Rotten Pine Resin because the other resins don't really up my damage much. I mean, it already does a ton of damage, but I actually almost never poison someone. But since I've started using Rotten Pine excuse me, since I've started using Broughton Pine Resin, I actually have poisoned about 3 or 4 people. It's about 20 to 15% of the fights that I actually do get to poison someone. It's not a big deal, but I just wanted to capitalize on a status ailment that I did have a chance to inflict, and I wanted to make it a little more likely. I mean, whatever. It's a non-weapon, so whatever resin or enchantment you want to use. Obviously, you could use Dark Moon or Sunlight Blade and probably hit people for several for that, like 1,500 damage, just like a regular swing, without any critical damage or anything happening. It's a little crazy, and I also don't like to be extremely cheesy. I don't like. I mean, I guess you could say cheap, but there is no real definition of that in Dark Souls. People make up their own definitions. It's all opinion. But I don't like. I think it's cheesy. It's cheesy in my opinion. I think it's lame, so I don't do that. I'm pretty sure I do have Dark Moon Blade because I am Dark Moon Blades, and I probably also have Sunlight Blade. I think this character's on New Game Plus. I don't remember, but that's all the stuff that you guys would be able to choose. In my other hand, I have the Canvas Talisman. I don't know if this is actually the best. It does have. Where do I see the? I guess I just see it here. It does have the highest attunement out of the 3 talismans that I currently have, so that's the one I've been using. It's probably one that's a little more optimal. I didn't really think too much about the talisman because my miracles that I use are Emit Force. I rarely hit people with this, but I like to use it. It's a fun miracle to try and hit. It's a challenge to me, so it's a way I can improve if I do try to factor this into my fights. Like I said, it's a challenge. A few style points. It's honestly, in my opinion, one of the hardest miracles in the game to land. So I always commend myself when I land it. It's not the biggest deal though. It's a decent range attack. Besides the heavy crossbow, it is good against slower rolling opponents and things of that nature. Fat roll people, you can land quite easily. It's a lot harder to land the Wrath of the Gods, honestly. I don't think it's people used to when the game was newer. I don't really hear much about the game too much anymore. It's obviously pretty aged, but when the game was newer, people said this is a really cheap spare me miracle, but I honestly don't think it is. If you can't dodge Emit Force, you probably need to practice a little bit more at this game. I don't know. It's an incredibly easy miracle to dodge because it means it has to be charged up, then shot, and then it has to hit something to explode or reach its full distance. So I mean, it's incredibly obvious. So I don't really think it's a cheap miracle. I don't really think it's overpowered. Everyone has their opinions, but yeah, it does a decent amount of damage. I don't remember it, but usually when I hit people, it's only about through their defense. It only does about 250 to 300. That's the average. I've never landed one with Red Tears to the Ring activated. I honestly wouldn't try to land one with Red Tears. Maybe I'll do that in my next Dark Souls video, PvP that I actually do. I'll try to land one Emit Force to the Red Tears to the Ring and see how much we can do. Probably not very much. Like I said, the crossbow probably did more damage than this, but again, style points. And then my last Miracle's Force. I actually hadn't been using this at all in my PvP up until late. But actually recently I've started factoring it in. I don't really know. I mean, there is no advantage to using this over Wrath of the Gods. It does no damage, but it has more charges. Again, it's just something that I think is a bit challenging. Something that can work for certain PvP builds, but I think the only use is to detonate it and then like run to someone's back. So I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that really would give you an edge in PvP. But I think Wrath of the Gods can also do that, stumble people and then do damage as well. So yeah, I think that's my build. I'll go through everything once more. I'm not going to actually talk about it, but I'll show you guys everything once more if you want to pause it and look at it. But yeah, that is my Mighty Maiden build. It is the only build that I've actually stuck with for quite a long time. I really do enjoy playing on this build. The large club's a lot of fun. There's always some challenges in using Force and Force and Mid-Force, so I mean it's not really been too easy for me, even though I am pretty experienced in Dark Souls. No, not the best, honestly, I'll admit that, but there always is some challenges of using this build. I'm trying to think of the accurate word. I don't know, there's some advantages to it, but there's also just little personal challenges, I guess, that I give myself during fights. If I can do, I always feel a little more accomplished than just a regular win. But yeah, that's the build and its glory, I guess. Some people are asking for it, so there you guys go. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys the day after tomorrow for I'll probably just do some traditional PvP. I actually haven't done regular PvP in a while. Alright, but thank you guys for watching. Love you guys. Joust, damn it. God bless.